Warning! This video contains spoilers for the Big Finish production, Doctor Who, The Lovecraft Invasion. Viewing beyond this point is a choice you have made, and you take responsibility for that choice. Thank you, and please have a great day.
Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Welcome to this video. I hope everyone is doing well. I hope everyone's having fun. And I hope the universe is treating you fairly. Today is going to be the first video of the Doctor Who audio dramas. I did a kind of a introductory to October, what I plan on doing in October on the 1st of this month, which goes into more detail about the background of this audio drama. So if you missed that, you may want to go back and check that out. I'll try to put a thing up here. I think it comes across. I'll probably forget, but I'm going to try to. I will try to. So, Doctor Who, The Lovecraft Invasion. Let's do this.
You're listening to a Big Finish production.
Just for clarification, there's going to be stops like this. That's one of the reasons why this is going to be broken up. It is because the entire story is a little over an hour and a half, almost 2 hours. Which doesn't make sense because a little over an hour and a half is not close to 2 hours. So yeah, it's just the way the clocks work. But so I'm going to break this down. The story itself is told in parts. So we'll kind of follow the parts and see what we get, see how long the videos are going to be. But I'm going to have to stop and blah blah blah. Copyright. For some reason, the copyright algorithms are a lot harder on music than they are the spoken word. I have no idea why. It just is what it is. And I do like the Doctor Who themes. I can't remember if this is a Big Finish interpretation of the Doctor Who theme, or if this is the actual Sixth Doctor Colin Baker theme from the TV show. It's been a while since I've watched any of the classic Who stuff, so I can't remember. Getting old and senile. I think this is a Big Finish interpretation, to be honest with you. The more I listen to it.
Warning. The override time limit has expired. Self-destruction will occur in 1 minute.
No, wait! It's this way!
Oh, who designed this place? All the corridors look the same. Doctor! Ms. Jones, hurry!
We're coming!
I like Colin Baker as the Sixth Doctor, even though because of bullshit that was going on in the BBC and with the showrunner and all that kind of behind the scenes politics kind of kind of screwed him as a doctor, and he's got a bad rep as far as his TV appearances, but thankfully Big Finish came along and allowed him to flesh out his version of the Doctor and be a better representation of what Colin Baker could have done.
We found the TARDIS!
Excellent! About time too. All these corridors look the same.
You are kidding! We gave up the last escape pod for this.
It may yet surprise you. Come on. Flip Mrs. Clark inside. Calypso, you two. No time to argue. Get in.
And I believe the 5th Doctor, or the 6th Doctor adventure that came out just previous to this one, introduced us to Flip. Flip is an interesting character. So is Calypso Jones. They've appeared in other Doctor Who audio dramas. So don't feel bad if you've watched only the Doctor Who on TV and you don't know who any of these characters outside the Doctor are. It's understandable.
Wow. So this thing's bigger on than the...
Yes, it is. It also travels in space and time. Now hurry up and bring that scanner of yours over here. Quickly!
Right. Okay. Not seen that before.
Right.
How long before this place goes up?
For my life.
Well, for the non-Doctor Who fans out there who don't know anything, the TARDIS stands for Time and Relative Dimension and Space, and it's basically so the story can happen. There's trickery with three-dimensional space and all kinds of stuff that I could do probably 400 hour videos on, because it's really in a gray area scientifically speaking. So
King Flip, not long enough.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, that was far too close.
What now?
Well, if this creature really is capable of space-time displacement, we'll have to track it down through the vortex.
How?
So yeah, there's that. Like I said, if you're not a Doctor Who fan, you just gotta kind of put a little extra suspended disbelief into it. If you don't know anything about Doctor Who, this might be a good jumping in point for you. You never know.
Oh.
I'm still working that bit out.
Home in on its Sigma signature.
They made it using Sigma energy. Oh, I might have known. Oh, the more I learn about this Somnifax, the worse this holiday is getting.
Oh, I'll say.
I've got a lock.
Oh yeah, another thing is one of the copyright stipulations is whether or not you watching this video and listening to this video could a rational person understand this, or could a rational person replace this video for the product that is the IP, which hopefully by breaking it up we don't have any copyright issues. I don't foresee any, but you never know.
We're gaining!
What happens if it reaches civilization?
Like I said, it'll look for a host to manifest their darkest thoughts and feelings against the rest of the population.
That's mental.
It's diabolical. Imagine it, whole armies wiped out by their own nightmares.
Yes, as sentient bioweapons go, it is rather impressive, I'll give you that.
See, I like that. The Doctor, even though something is a menace, a terror, you know, he kind of gives the people that created it, you know, kind of a, you know, a nod, you know, hey, look, this is evil, but it takes some brain sweat to get this to go, you know.
Ah, now I've calculated its trajectory. It's heading deeper into the solar system and further back in time. It's obviously very keen to get as far away from 51st century Titan as it can. Let's see. We're just passing 34th century Jupiter now. 22nd century Mars.
Speedy little beggar, isn't it?
It's remarkable.
Kind of clicking through time pretty fast. Time and space, you know.
If only it weren't so malevolent. Hold on, we're right on its tail.
Also, I need to point out, growing up, a lot of the big fancy words that I know the meaning of, that I use on occasion, I learned from, like, comic books or Doctor Who or Battlestar Galactica. You know, the science fiction that I grew up on, reading Heinlein or Asimov, Philip K. Dick, Frank Herbert. Just, you absorb those things, and, you know, a good library along with a good school system, you're good to go.
Oh, good. And it's heading straight for Earth. Because of course it is.
I love that, because I use that of course it is phrase all the time. Actually, I used it several times with a whole string of profanities. Earlier today, I was trying to get set up to do this video, and it was just one stupid thing after another, just boom, 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 and it was crazy.
It's entering Earth's atmosphere. Constance, read off the altimeter.
Yes, 20,000 feet.
21st century China.
10,000 feet.
Britain in the mid-1980s.
5,000 feet.
Mid-Atlantic Ocean, 1950s. East coast of America.
It's made landfall.
In 1937. Sold. Oh.
Yeah, Colin Baker's voice is he can, there's a lot he can do with his voice, and if you've got a good imagination, or if you're familiar with the Doctor Who stuff, you can get a really good idea of, in your head, a much better visual in your brain than what TV can produce.
Hold tight! This is going to be a bumpy one.
Good morning, Mr. Lovecraft.
Good morning, Joe.
I kind of don't like the voice they use for Lovecraft here. Just because, yes, he was frail, he was sickly and a lot of stuff, but there's nothing to indicate that he was sheepish in any way. He was afraid of women. He really wasn't into the whole, you know, procreation or recreational sex thing, so, you know, but there's no indication that he was this voice.
Forgive me, I didn't see you there. Let me save you the journey to the mailbox. Anything for me?
The usual stack and a postcard.
Ah, from sunny Florida. One is never alone when one has correspondence, is one?
No, sir, one is not. Although a senorita or two down Volusia Way wouldn't hurt either.
I do not appreciate that kind of talk, Joseph.
See, I could see from what I've learned about Lovecraft in my life, I could see him saying something like that, but in a more arrogant or more pompous tone. That's just me. But just from listening to modern people, Northeast Coast talk, and things I've seen that were written in period, even reading Lovecraft's literature. And it should be noted that the actual historical Lovecraft was homophobic, racist, xenophobic, you name it, phobic, he probably was.
Good day.
Sorry, Mr. Lovecraft. Didn't mean nothing by it. Watch your step.
Thank you. I shall. Aunt Annie? Aunt Annie, are you in? Oh, no.
I think Lovecraft was married, but it was like an estranged marriage where he was married because it was what was expected, but there really wasn't any emotion or attachment or anything. And I know he lived with his aunt. I think his aunt paid for his funeral because he was like damn near destitute when he died.
Of course you're not. Howard, old man, what is to be done with you? Oh! Oh! Infernal machine.
I also like the fact that they spend time with, like, say, Lovecraft, like in this story, Lovecraft. He's before the Doctor. We get to know a little bit about him, his world, within the context of this story, without the Doctor being there. Without we get background, we get world building, we get story building.
Sunday, January 16th, 1937. My dearest Sonia, I trust you will forgive this typewritten letter, but I am finding handwriting an uncomfortable task at present. In fact, it is in relation to my ongoing health woes that I am writing you now.
And I believe that was correct, that as he was relatively young when he died, and his frailness and his weak immune system and stuff led him to having troubles with handwriting. At this time, well, even when I was growing up, it was considered, especially somebody that you were close to, a friend, a relative, somebody you were close to type out a letter, you would handwrite, people that you had a strong emotional attachment to. It was considered a faux pas to type a letter. You were supposed to handwrite handwrite your letters to those particular people.
My darling, if you will still permit me that expression, I must confess something to you. The truth is that I never signed the final decree of our divorce, meaning that, legally speaking at least, we remain husband and wife. My darling, the truth is that... the truth is...
I don't think he divorced in real life. He may have. I'd have to go back and do a lot more to get a lot of the finer details. But I always thought he was married when he died. He may have not have completed the divorce process.
Oh. Some things a gentleman shouldn't commit to paper, old man.
The irony of that is, he wasn't an old man especially by today's standards. I think I'm older now than he was when he died. Yeah, I'm 55 and I'm still considered fairly young, so.
Huh? That's funny. But it stopped short, never to go again. How apt. What the?
Yeah, it's, like I said, it's especially a lot of the original Big Finish stuff. They do great jobs world building, and their Doctor Who stuff. They got the license to do Doctor Who audios during what is a lot of fans call the Dark Ages, between the TV show Cancellation in the late 80s and its rejuvenation in the 2000s. You had the 1996 movie, which was okay. I liked it. Me and like 3 other people on the planet liked that movie. They kind of screw up because you had the Americans screwing around with the money, and they tried to Americanize it, and it just, they screwed up a lot of the continuity. But they did work it out in the audio, so when it came back on and they started doing stuff, they were able to fix it. So yeah. And for people who aren't Doctor Who fans, that sound you just heard is like the iconic TARDIS showing up. That the Doctor is in the house.
What kind of landing was that?
Well, I did say it would be bumpy.
Where are we again?
Rhode Island, 1937. More specifically, the city of Providence. How divine.
It's interesting, though, if you think, because earlier this month, I didn't. I forgot when it came live, but the the Providence Compendium is interesting because it takes place in 1919. This takes place in 1937. So there's that time. So, and if you could try to weave both stories together, and it'd be interesting. I think Lovecraft was most prolific in his stuff during the early to mid 20s. Was when he did the majority of his writing. I could be wrong on that.
It's freezing.
Yes, well, that's New England in January for you.
Good. Means there shouldn't be too many civilians about.
Why would this Somnifex creature come here?
Now that, Mrs. Clark, is an excellent question.
Oh, so's this. What are we going to do when we find it?
Relax, kid. I've come prepared. Feast your eyes on the latest in psychic warfare tech. As well as the Sigma meter, which you've already met, we have 3 psionic inhibitor mine patches to neutralize any unwary hosts. And to catch the thing, 1 psychotronic snare. And
technobabble, technobabble. And it sounds good, though. I mean, it's like Star Trek. It sounds really good.
An ionized containment flask.
And once we've caught it?
It pains me to say it, but we'll have to return it to the orbital lab to perish in the explosion it just escaped.
That's not your call, Doc. There's a bounty on this thing, and I mean to collect.
No, it's far too dangerous to try.
Well, perhaps we could debate the ethics later and catch it first.
The lady's right, Doc. We have to stop it before it turns this planet into a nightmare-infested hell world.
Which that would happen in the 21st century, early 21st century. So, it is what it is.
Probably won't take it very long.
I believe you. Flip, Constance, this isn't the jaunt I promised you at breakfast, so you're welcome to stay in the TARDIS and sit this one out.
No way, Doctor. We're coming too. You took the words right out of my mouth, Philippa Ramone. Doctor, I have a feeling this job's going to take all 4 of us.
And it does.
Stop. This is it. 66 College Street. There's a psionic hotspot right here.
It looks...
And here, what's interesting is the audio for the files. They break it down into little 3 to 4 minute chapters. And the reasoning for that is if something happens, one of the files get corrupted, all you have to do is replace that file. You don't have to replace, if it was all one file, you would have to replace the entire file if it got corrupted. And it's a proactive way of keeping stories and stuff like that. Your action cameras do that with video. They break it down into small chapters, so if one file gets corrupted, you don't lose the entire film. So, you know, it's kind of cool that way. And that's the reason why on some of them, on some of the audio, you'll hear something, then you'll have a bloop, or a kind of an odd sound, then the audio will continue. It's transferring from one chapter to the next.
Peaceful enough.
Don't you believe it? It must be inside.
What do we do? Go up and knock?
Oh, it's what I usually do.
Okay, but don't forget, if it latches onto you, your darkest impulses will take physical form and try and kill the rest of us.
Duly noted.
Yay, fun!
Better keep those mind patches handy. Follow me.
One last thing.
What?
It's a little awkward, but best to bring it up now.
What?
Look, from what you guys have told me, I get the impression you travel around the universe doing good and generally having adventures, right?
Well, we...
Sort of. After a fashion.
Okay, and would it be fair to say this is a not-for-profit enterprise you've got going?
Well, we don't exactly invoice Calypso.
Well, you gotta love them. How, you know, the Doctor is, you know, the Doctor does good and saves, you know, does a lot of good, but a lot of times the sacrifices he had, the personal sacrifices he has to make are insane, especially in the new Doctor Who's. You get it in the classic Doctor Who, but in the new Doctor Who's, it gets kind of rough.
Saving the universe tends to be its own reward.
Good, because the bounty on this thing's pretty significant, and well, I really hate sharing.
Oh, you needn't worry on that score. Once we've dealt with it, any financial remuneration for doing so is yours.
Thanks, Doc. I knew you were a good one.
Now, if we're quite done negotiating the fiscal arrangements, may we proceed?
Sure.
Yes.
Let's do this.
Providence.
What was that, Doctor?
Oh, I don't know. I know we're having a busy day, but I can't help but think I'm missing something obvious.
Interesting obvious or vitally important obvious?
Vitally important.
Never mind. It's probably nothing. Behind the car! Take cover!
What up? They're bad news, whatever they are. Doctor, take the mind patch and get inside. They fit like a skull cap. Find whoever's dreaming these things up and put it on them. I'll cover you.
Understood!
Yeah, that's it's crazy. It gets crazy. And yeah, I know we're like almost 30 minutes in, but yeah, I just realized there's some things I'm going to have to talk over the audio, because that's part of the whole copyright thing.
Help, Father! Help! Flip! Take my hat! Calypso, help!
There are too many of them!
Yeah, that's
What
kind of
happened?
fun.
Where'd they go?
I found the host. You can come inside. He's through here. Did I apply the mind patch correctly?
Yeah.
You did it perfectly, Doc. Well done.
Is he okay?
Right now, he's the safest person on Earth. It's the rest of us I'm worried about.
Who is?
You gotta love it when they come up with comments like that.
He?
H.P. Lovecraft? Odd name.
H.P. Lovecraft?
You know him.
I love that unison when they do that in unisons like that.
Oh, well played, Somnifax, well played.
Well, who is he?
Howard Phillips Lovecraft, an American author of weird fiction, and quite frankly, not one I ever wanted to meet.
Interesting, weird fiction, because that is actually the period term that for that period for science fiction. In fantasy, it was considered weird fiction, like Jules Verne and stuff like that. The movie in the 20s, Metropolis, I can't remember exactly. That was all considered weird fiction. And it's before we refined it into science fiction and fantasy. I'd forgot that they used that period term. It's another reason why I love the Doctor Who stuff.
Never heard of him.
He was a failure in his own lifetime, but hugely influential after his death. Oh, this is bad.
Why?
And had a bit of a renaissance
What
in
kind
the
of stuff
early
did he
late
write?
1980s.
Precisely the stuff that the Somnifax needs, Calypso. Nightmare fuel. On top of which he was a racist and an all-round xenophobe.
And he was. That is historically accurate. But he was, with all that negativity, all that bad connotation to him, he's still a pretty good writer.
His prejudices infused his work, so like I said, this is bad.
Oh.
Yeah, he and the Doctor is right. A lot of his monsters and his apocalyptic storytelling are proxies for black people or Latinos or people from the South or anybody that wasn't from Providence, Rhode Island. It's, yeah.
I can't wait to meet him.
Oh.
Doctor, he's coming round.
What happened?
Try to stay calm, Mr. Lovecraft. You've had a funny turn, that's all.
Who are you people?
She's Mrs. Clark, that's Flip, this is Calypso, and I'm the Doctor. And if you're
Yes.
H.P. Lovecraft, then those bat creatures out there must have been...
Night gaunts!
Yes, Flip. How did you know that?
Don't look that surprised. My big cousin Darren was a right gamer back in the day. I grew up with Call of Cthulhu.
Yes, I did too. And that was part of the renaissance of H.P. Lovecraft in the 80s, because a lot of tabletop games become popular, like Dungeons and Dragons, Call of Cthulhu, there's Crime Busters, there's a bunch of them. And the Call of Cthulhu by I can't pronounce it, but was a really good game. Then they did Cthulhu by Gaslight, which helped the renaissance of Call of Cthulhu. In fact, in the 90s, there was a Batman comic, basically Batman versus Cthulhu.
I didn't know about the man who wrote the stories.
What are you people talking about? Who are you? And what's a gamer?
Please don't excite yourself. Like I said, I'm the Doctor.
Oh no. How bad is it?
Everything's
Really
absolutely
bad.
fine. Calypso, what's the battery life on his mind patch?
6 hours tops. We have 2 more, but I'm not sure his brain could take all 3 in succession.
It would only delay the inevitable anyway.
The inevitable?
Oh, just a figure of speech.
My head feels peculiar. What happened to me?
That'll be the Somnifax hunkering down in his posterior parietal cortex.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, which could be an interesting part of the human brain. So yeah, this is where we start weaving the fantasy and the reality. Well, the whole story is a really good weave of the fantasy and the history.
That's just how Father went.
I really don't think it is, mate. Doctor, I don't have the tools to extract it safely.
And what about your psychotronic snare?
Yeah, if we can get the Somnifax out in the open, sure, but not while it's embedded. At least, not without killing the host.
Oh, that's not an option.
But what if the
I said
Somnifax
no, Calypso.
Then I don't know what else we can do.
Right,
and that's one thing I gotta give the doctor credit for. Even if somebody is vile, and H.P. Lovecraft is a vile human being, that murder was off the board. It was, we're going to do what we can to save him, even though he's this vile human being. Murder's off the board. And he stands by those principles, even into the new Doctor Who, and I find that inspiring, to be honest with you.
Good time is 8:30 a.m, so we have until 2:30 this afternoon. I wonder, that these psionic inhibitors of yours create a particle field that blocks psychic energy from coalescing into matter, correct?
Sounds about right.
Then if one were to modify a unit's particle generator to transmit said energy through a
More, I love technobabble. I know it's technobabble, and I know they're just throwing out words, just blah blah blah, ionized brain but it sounds good. It's when you got quality performers, you get that. It's great.
Host unit's field hub, it should be possible to project one's psychic imprint into the contained subject's latent psionic framework.
Does that mean what I think it means?
If you think it means I intend to project myself into the Somnifax's rendering of Mr. Lovecraft's subconscious, then yes, it does.
Whoa.
Good grief.
Well, somebody has to go in there and fight the Somnifax from the inside.
Oh, do this one too, Doctor.
Why?
Because I'm coming with you.
Oh, I'm sorry, Flip. It'll be far too dangerous, not to mention highly unpleasant.
It's either that or stay here and wait for him to start bashing out monsters again. You're going to need help in there, Doctor. And I know his stuff, remember?
Oh.
Plus, I like the English language. The differences in different words and how they different phrases, how the English put them together versus how the Americans put them together. It's enjoyable. It's very, as an American living in East Texas, it's one of those things you're like, oh, okay, and it's just great.
Oh, very well. Put this on and lie down. Mrs. Clark, out of the four of us, you're the one who knows this period best. So please do your best to make him comfortable for as long as we're projected inside his mind. And Calypso, keep that snare of yours handy.
You can count on it.
Flip and I will be as quick as we can.
Be careful, won't you?
Always. Ready, Flip?
Ready.
Then here we go!
Yeah, I love, because I can imagine, I can see it in my head, the inside. Well, a lot of that too has to do as being a fairly active reader, and having a good imagination, reading both like comic books and novels and stuff. If done correctly and if incentivized correctly, you can build. It helps. You can use the comics to help build an imagination, and like novels, Stranger in a Strange Land, stuff like that, to fill in the details, to build the walls, to build the streets and stuff. It's really cool, and I love how they portray the subconscious within the human mind.
Flip? Flip, you all right?
Yeah. You?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, Doctor, I have a feeling we're not in Providence anymore.
I would love to see them do a version of this with the new Who. And it doesn't have to necessarily be H.P. Lovecraft. It could be like Edgar Allan Poe or Stephen King or something like that. And I think they could do it. I mean, with what we have now as far as TV and stuff go, I mean, it's going to be, it won't be as good as one's imagination, but at the same time, it's a good story. It's a good, solid story to tell.
Oh my, what just happened?
It's all right, Mr. Lovecraft. You're quite safe.
Well, looks like it worked, Mrs. Clark. I think they're in there.
Yep, they are.
So this is the inside of H.P. Lovecraft's head, is it?
Or the Somnifax's rendering of it, at least, yes.
See, it's stuff like that that's cool.
Hmm?
It feels so real, though.
To all intents and purposes, it is real. Don't forget, this place is a manifestation of Lovecraft's psyche, charged with all the power of his imagination and all his virulent prejudice. For as long as we're here, the Somnifax will no doubt attempt to use it against us.
Well,
imagine
we'll
that.
be okay, though, right? I mean, if something happens to us in here, it's just imaginary. We'll still be fine, yeah?
Maybe.
I'm afraid not. Our bodies may be lying on the floor of Mr. Lovecraft's study, but we are nevertheless in very real neurological danger. Any physical harm we experience in this mindscape will likely manifest as brain damage.
Which kind of, see, that kind of reminds me of like basically your house gets hit by lightning and the energy goes through and fries all your electronics or anything you have plugged into the wall, it fries it. But at the same time, it doesn't set your house on fire. Or power surge from the electric company, you know, fries your toaster and your air fryer. That's how I kind of see that in my brain.
Or even death. Although I might regenerate, of course.
Oh, every cloud.
Sorry.
Oh, I can't say you didn't warn me, can I? But how can we fight this thing if it's got all the power?
Oh, I never said that. Well, the Somnifax is capable of weaponizing this realm. It's almost certainly bound by its rules. If that's the case, we must find a way to use that fact against it.
Working out where we are would be a good start.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's figuring out where your starting point is always a good thing.
Agreed. Well, wherever this is, the sign says we're on the corner of East Street and Washington. There, I'd call that progress, wouldn't you? Oh, come on. Let's try this direction.
Plus, another thing I love about the differences between English and American English is the pronunciation, like progress versus progress. It's just, I love that.
How are they doing?
They seem fine. 3 steady heartbeats between them, at least.
What did you say?
She said they're fine. What about you? Are you feeling any...
Don't touch me.
Look.
It just makes you wonder, because the Time Lords are supposed to have 2 hearts. So you got Lovecraft's heartbeat, should have 2 for the Time Lord and 1 for Flip. They should be getting 4 heartbeats. Unless in the manifestation of Lovecraft's brain, because he's human, I don't know. I wonder if hopefully it's not an important enough detail to explain, but you know.
I'm trying to help, you idiot. This is life or death, including yours. I don't want to hear it. Just listen. This is important. Are you expecting any visitors anytime soon? Friends, neighbours, anyone at all?
No. My Aunt Annie's at church, and then she'll be having tea until 3 o'clock or so. Why?
Because this is complicated enough already. As you were.
Please, Mrs.
Clark.
Mrs. Clark, what on earth is going on?
Very well. I'll try to explain. But you may find it all rather hard to believe.
Try.
Yeah. Explaining, futuristic scientific craziness to H.P. Lovecraft would probably be a whole hell of a lot easier than one would imagine.
What was that?
I don't know, but I didn't like the sound of it.
Do you think the Somnifax knows we're here?
Not yet, perhaps, but it's safe to assume it soon will. Exactly how much do you know about the works of H.P. Lovecraft, Flip? My memory's a little fuzzy.
You have read him, though, right?
Yes, but not for a good 890 years or so.
What? When you were a teenager?
That's when a lot of people read him.
Exactly, because that's when I first read H.P. Lovecraft, is in my teens, mid to late 80s.
I can't say I've read all his stories exactly, but my big cousin Darren...
The gamer?
Yeah, he used to let me join in on his Cthulhu game nights, but then one time he caught me reading the end of the game book and he banned me from playing after that. But I did watch a lot.
Good. That may come in handy.
That's good.
I never knew about Lovecraft being racist, though. If I had... I don't know. That's why
This is a very important thing. This is a very good... What we're getting ready to get into is a very important thing on separating the author from their art. The artist from the art.
Somnifax picked him, isn't it?
Well, because of his racism. Yes, I'm sure it made him all the more attractive to it. For a weaponized mind parasite passing through early 20th century Earth, he's an absolute goldmine.
And here we are, inside his bonds.
Yes, indeed. Make no mistake, this is hostile territory. Ah, let's try that diner.
Never mind. I thought I know, if I remember correct, because it's been probably 3 or 4 years since I've listened to this audio drama. But I think there's I know there's somewhere in one of the chapters they do that. They do that, separating the art from the artist. I thought this was it here. I guess not. Hopefully we'll get something cool. Something along those lines.
Hello?
Anyone in?
3 abandoned blue plate specials, 1 slice of cherry pie, and 6 cups of coffee.
They left in a hurry.
Well, at least we know where we are. Look, it's the evening edition of the Arkham Advertiser.
Which haunted Arkham?
Indeed. This isn't just a random dream location. It's one of the primary settings of Lovecraft's literary world brought to life.
And it's based on Salem, Massachusetts. It's interesting that then I wonder if they're going to get into Miskatonic University and the Necronomicon. I can't remember. Like I said, I got this during the dark days of 2020. Matter of fact, it came out in July of 2020. It was released. And so, yeah. I should listen to my stuff a little bit more often, I guess.
The Somnifax must be enjoying itself.
Doctor!
What?
Footprints, I think.
Where?
Leading out back from that coffee puddle.
Well. Footprints, yes. Bipedal, certainly. But not what I'd call human. Shall we?
The music kind of reminds me of some of the music in the Fallout games.
Doctor, given what he was, how come people are still reading Lovecraft in my time?
Yeah, it's a good question, Flip. If someone does choose to read his work, they must do so with the knowledge it was written by a racist, which is why I don't bother.
Me neither now.
Although if you're in the habit of consuming art, it's a problem you will hit sooner or later. And when you do, you can't ignore it. In Lovecraft...
Yeah, we do get that separation of the art and the artist thing.
Ralph's case, you couldn't if you tried. As well as his racism being well known about, it's frequently there in the text.
Oh, nice. It makes me feel sick.
Same here. But the most painful scenario, in my experience, is when you make the discovery about the creator after you've fallen in love with their work. Then it becomes tarnished after the fact. A few years ago, for example, I found out that one of my favourite childhood authors used to blow up planets for fun.
Planets?
Yeah, I tell you, it broke my heart.
See, and I believe part of this story is rectifying that whole thing, that the Doctor comes out a more open-minded person, and I don't know, I might be spoiling, I might not be.
I tried reading my favourite book of theirs again, just to see if I still could. I loved it so much, you see.
And could you?
No. No, I couldn't get past the first line. This way.
Any sign?
No.
Wait, look! There's someone up ahead.
Oh, rather an odd-looking specimen, isn't he?
Yeah, on that whole separating the art from the artist thing, especially in Lovecraft's instance, it makes for, you can teach good lessons. You have these stories and you can teach lessons on how not to be, if that makes any sense.
I wasn't expecting anything else, to be honest.
We better follow him, whoever he is. But at a safe distance, understood?
I'm all for safe distances, Doctor.
Good. Come on.
And that's about it, Mr. Lovecraft. I'm afraid I really can't put it any plainer than that.
No, it's perfectly clear, Mrs. Clark. You're a woman from 7 years.
And I love how they use the so we don't have to sit through the boring, monotonous explanation that we already know. We switch to one part of the story of the Doctor and flip inside of Lovecraft's brain, while simultaneously out of our ears she's explaining what's going on to catch the to give the character the knowledge the audience has.
In the future, when our two nations are at war with Germany, and you're from the 51st century.
Yeah, that's right. From Io. That's a moon
of Jupiter, yes, I know. And what you're telling me is that I have been invaded by an entity from another world, and the two people currently passed out on the rug have gone into my mind in pursuit of it.
Yeah, it's a genetically engineered mind parasite, and it's latched itself onto you. These organisms do occur naturally off-world, but this one's been weaponized by some highly unethical military scientists, and it's my job to stop it.
And does this mind parasite of yours have a name?
Its binomial designation is Somnifax vehementi, but on the street, they call it a dreamweaver.
A dreamweaver?
Real good song. Real good song came out of the 70s, I believe, by that name.
I see. How fascinating.
Listen, Constance, I'm gonna go find the smallest room in the house. Keep an eye, okay?
Of course.
Smallest room in the house? The restroom. Especially in the 1930s.
What a unique situation I find myself in.
I must say, Mr. Lovecraft, you've been very easy to convince of all this.
Oh, well, as you clearly know from my modest literary efforts, I'm no stranger to the weird and outre. What you have told...
Outre is a cool word, though. I've had on occasion the chance to use that word, and it really messes with people's minds. It's just one of those words.
Me is no great leap, I assure you.
Good. What's wrong?
Oh, nothing calamitous. I merely seem to have run out of shag tobacco. Would you mind fetching me the green tin box from the upper shelf in the room across the hall? It does calm me immeasurably.
If I must.
I don't think H.P. Lovecraft was a user of marijuana or cocaine at time. He may have been, but I don't think he was. And there's a lot of pictures and paintings of him holding a pipe, and a lot of descriptions from other people of him being an avid pipe smoker.
Thank you.
Yes, I must admit that usually it takes us far longer to persuade people that we really are travelers in the fourth dimension. Half the time they think we're lying at first, and the other half they think we're stark staring mad.
Me, I don't know. If somebody came up to me and told me that they traveled in time and space into the fourth dimension, I don't know. I think I would withhold judgment until it could be proved and or disproved.
You did say a green tin, didn't you, Mr. Lovecraft? Mr. Lovecraft? Mr. Oh.
I think HP done flew the coop.
No. Miss Jones. What? He's gone.
What? Where?
Out of the window.
Oh, today's just getting better and better, isn't it?
Mr. Lovecraft! Mr. Lovecraft! Oh, how could I have been so stupid?
We don't have time for that, Mrs. Clark.
He can't have gone far, surely.
I hope not, because he's got the Doctor, Flip, and the end of the world in his head.
Yay!
Come on!
We lost him.
I don't suppose you recognise who it was, did you?
Well, he was an 8-foot hillbilly by the look of him, so I guess that would make him, oh, you know, that big scary guy with monster legs. Oh, you know, Willie, Wilfred, something.
Wilbur.
Wilbur, yes, Wilbur Whately.
Wilbur.
Wilbur is the thing is that is, especially in this time period, the late 30s, was not a name surmised with intelligence. Kind of like calling somebody a cooter now. Well, cooter has other common connotations as well, but or Jethro, a better stereotypical name for an idiot.
Whately, of course, the rural cultist from the short story The Dunwich Horror.
Great, so we know who he was, but we've still lost him.
Then we'll just have to unloose him, won't we?
It's that noise again. It's almost like pipes.
Yes, you know, that's rather familiar too, come to think of it. Keep listening for it, we might hear it again. Get down, Flip!
Yay, getting shot at by somebody's imagination. You gotta love that.
Who missed you? Damn you!
We have the pleasure of addressing Mr. Wilbur Whately, or do you prefer to be called the Somnifax?
Whichever name makes no difference, stranger. Give me that soon anyhow. Just see if you ain't.
You gotta love that.
Flip.
Just about. He definitely knows we're here now.
I'm afraid he does. Yep. Come on, let's get after him. Listen. Chick-a-lily.
What is it?
I can't quite remember. Something to do with... Oh, but of course.
What?
It's from the novel The Mountains of Madness, yes.
That, by the way, was the very first Lovecraft novel I ever read.
It's all coming back to me now. Oh dear.
What?
Chick-a-lily was the cry of a huge gelatinous creature that dwelt in the caves beneath a lost city in the Antarctic. An amorphous, omnivorous monster formed of ever-reforming viscous slime.
Hey, I've had ex-girlfriends that fit that description.
That wiped out the entire population.
Oh, yeah. I think my big cousin Darren called them Shoggoths.
Shoggoths! Yes, that's right. That's exactly what that sound is.
Yeah, great, good stuff. Well, that's the end of that first part. So, hope you're enjoying it. We'll get some more done, get them up throughout October. And as always, remember, be a good human, be good to other humans. Peace.
Hey, it's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?